In this video tutorial I want to show you how to make a single strand stainless steel trace for lure, for wobbler, fishing with the twitching method. So we need a single strand stainless steel wire. In this case I am using 0.4 millimeter diameter stainless steel wire. It's around 26-27 centimeter long, and when I will make a trace, it will be around 20 centimeter long trace for lure fishing. And this particular trace is designed for the plastic lures twitching method. So we have a piece of the wire. Then I have special pliers, like juveleric pliers, to make a wire bend, wire loops, or you can use simple round nose pliers to make a loop. It's very handy. So take about 3 centimeters from the end and just twist and make a loop, and like this. Make sure it's 90 degrees corner, but make sure it's 90 degrees corner between two ends of wires. Then I take flat pliers, just little, don't press too much. And now, as you can see, this top end, short wire, I mean, it's on the top. So next step, I take them, keep them with this, and turn this. 1, 2, 3. So we have like this. Then I straighten one end, and short end I make again 40, it's 90 degrees, yeah. Then I take again and wrap around the long end of the wire a few times, just like that. So like this. Now we have this piece, we need to cut it off. If you use side cutters and cut it off, still 1 millimeter long piece will sticking and catching, you know, the line or your fingers. So what I do, take a pliers, just bend like this, then take this one with your finger and turn it back. Take your pliers, just bend like this, then take this one with your finger and turn it back. When you turn it, as you can see, it snap off, and now you have even nice, and it not catching your finger, you know. Never throw this piece of the metal somewhere on the floor, because it will end up in your feet and you have big problem. That's why I'm using this plate, magnetic plate. I just drop there and it'll never go anywhere. As you can see, I made a lot of stuff from the wire, a lot of traces, a lot of spinners, and etc. So now we have this end, and we will use this end to tie our line. In order to secure this not secure, but sometimes a line when you twitching will start catching this end, and eventually line will cut little by little, and there is a chance that the line will just after time will split, will cut off. So that's why I use a thermo shrinking tube, put in this on this end, nice and tidy, heat up. Watch my camera, not born camera. Make sure you don't heat up your wire too much because it will soften wire. Just squeeze with your fingers. Nice and tidy. So on this end you will tie the line. In other end we make again same 3 centimeters. Twist it, just put under 90 degrees. Take other pliers, again twist it. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're twisting wires, make sure it's always 90 degrees corner. It will make perfect wrap all the time. Don't hurry, take your time and watch your fingers. If you hit this one, finger will be bleeding and quite sore. So I wrap this 6 or 7 times. Now we have like this. So what I do now, I twisting this wire back, just like that, and I cut it off short end on where this pigtail just ending. Make sure you always keep this one with your hands when you cutting, because if it end up in your eye. So we have other end like this. Now how we put a lure? Very simple. Take a lure, put it on. Now you take with your fingers and twist the lure. And when you twist the lure, this wire twisting on its, how to say, make sure it's click till the end. You can hear click. So now I put the trace on the lure and it's ready, rock and roll. Just don't forget to put your line on this end. So how to change the lure, you might wonder. Just simple. Take with your finger and unwrap this. Take some practice, but once you manage it, it will be easy. Like just remove the lure, and then when you need to change new lure, just put it on. Take with your finger, just turn a few times, and then make sure it's fully wrapped. This wire, you can suddenly hear the click, click, click. So ready to go again. Now you may wonder why just not to put a snap link. on this with the shovel and just easy to change the lure. Yes, maybe it's easier to change the lure with the snap, but the thing is, snap is where is usually your trace will fail, and all snaps one time will open up, and sometimes it's breaking off with the fish, and you lose the lure and this lure inside the fish mouth, and it doesn't not nice. I know my some friends using snaps, still using them, and they lost so many lures. Lures was like made in Japan. It's cost 20-30 euro. Just the snap in open up and lure is gone. Other thing why it's good to use this wire, because it is stiff wire. When you twitching, your lures goes this way, this way, this way. So this trace prevent line flipping around the hooks. Now other question, sometimes someone asking why this so short, this only 20 centimeter. This lure is 11 centimeter long, so if I put this trace, it's nearly double length. Now imagine you fishing for pike. Pike will grab your lure. How deep he will take? Of course it can be big pike, but even big pike like this mouth, you need, I don't know, 20 pounds, 30 pounds pike. And how many pike you count on this one, and there is, well, I don't know. I'm using only 20 centimeters for the twitching. If you intend to use this for trolling, this trace for trolling is definitely too short, because lure is constantly moving in the speed 3-5 kilometer per hour speed, so pike just follow this, and if decide to hit, and sometime it missing or hitting from the front. So if you use this 20 centimeter long for the trolling, it's quite chance that the pike will cut your line. For the trolling, is good advice is to use 50 centimeter long wire, but for trolling I would suggest use different type. You can use for trolling with the snaps, with the shivels. Yeah, now other question, people asking why I not using shivels. The thing is, this lure works as suspending, and this wire trace weighs only 0.3 grams. So imagine, now I put shovel and snap, how much it will weigh? Probably more than 1 gram, maybe 2 grams. So it will affect the lure work a lot, especially on the pauses when you stop twitching for a moment. If you use shivels, lure will sink very fast. Other thing, people say, oh, this lure's twisting your line. No, it is not, because maybe a lure is when you casting flip around few times, but when you retrieving this plastic lure, it always stays like this. So it never twist a line a lot. You can use this wire trace as well for the spinners, but for example, then you put this, you need to put shovel with the snap if you intend to use. Again, just wrap it, lock it, and that's it, ready to go. Of course, this shovel only for to show, I'm not using the shields for the lures because it's the way too big. So now you have a spinner, just put on, and you're ready to go. If you want to use again plastic lure, just untwist this. Again, change the lure and ready to go. Ready, rock and roll. So some question was like, how many? I mean, what's the test is of this wire trace? Well, the test is about 12 or 5 kilo pulling power. What does it mean? It means if I take this other end and pull, it takes 5 kilo pulling power before this end start of unwrapping. So it is much or it is not enough. Well, I give you example. My friend fishing with the titanium wire trace, which is only 5 pounds breaking power, and this weekend we was fishing with him and he caught pike 16 pounds. So how can you explain this? Because rod and reel will absorb the shock. Of course, if you know how to use it and you know how to pull this fish, sometimes people just put so much pressure on the rod, sometimes breaking the rod off, or they put their reel drag so tight the line just cutting off. So this needs some common sense. But one of my friends, he was using this my mate wire trace, and he caught on the lure 10 kilo pike. I caught myself 5-7 kilo pike on this trace and never failed to me. What one important thing, for example, this wire is 0.4 diameter, and if you use line 0.5 or 0.6 diameter, which is quite unlikely because this line very thick, there is theoretically chance that the wire will cut off the line at the knot. Why this happen? Because if wire trace is thinner than the line, it will cut off through the line. You know what I'm saying? If wire trace is thicker diameter than a line, it will never cut off through the line. That's the physics works. And yeah, you can get this stainless steel wire, on eBay or other sites or d.i.y somewhere. And someone suggests, this looks shiny, pike doesn't spook of this, Eventually it's not spooking the fish. Maybe if some fish very shy, but I never experienced this. And I caught maybe 300 pikes on traces like this, and it works very well. Before I was using this wire traces, it's made from 0.5 millimeter. It's a lot thicker material, is spring tempted, but I was using very short, it's like 10 centimeter long. You can see same like a lure length. and the fish never cut off the line, even though I was using this length. This wire is a lot bigger diameter. Is, as you can see, it's quite visible, but even though fish doesn't care about this wire trace, because fish pays attention to the lure itself. And philosophy is, philosophical question: if the fish can see the wire trace, why fish can see the hooks? There is 3 hooks. I don't think the pike will see this wire trace. It takes a lot of experience for the pike to see many lures that he will associate this wire trace with something wrong. So yeah, I hope you understood what I meant to say. So good thing about this wire trace, that is cheap to make, easy to use, and it never fails. Well, never say never, but I can trust these wire traces. And if they just bend or a lot, just throw them out, but never throw outside somewhere. Just recycle them. So that's how you make these wire traces. Enjoy and watch your fingers. Bye bye.